So high, blue eyes, fake cry. Beware of the fucks tonight. The cold feet, a dark rain, my blood in your frozen veins. Dream high, no pain, run fast in the broken chains.
What's up with everybody walking for 4 miles before they start their video? Here I am. Let's talk about the truck. So this is preparing to be the video that I get this thing turnkey fire up to at least back it out of the shop. I don't know if I'll get as far as getting it roadworthy because I got to go and get a custom bumper for the intercooler and stuff like that, but at least fire it up and have a coolant system involved with the truck. Maybe not the fans. We should probably do all that. But in the last video you saw that I made the battery box, which it went very smooth for what it was, but this video we need to install that and run the rest of the wiring. You guys don't know, I'm taking a complete second gen running gear chassis, everything, and the interior dash gut, squirrel cage, heat air, cruise control, all that, and putting it in a 66 Dodge. So let's just get started because we know what we got to do. We got to put it back together and turn the key, and it should do something when the battery's hooked up. I gotta put a new battery cable on it too, or at least terminal. Proceed to walk off camera. Thank you guys so much for joining in on the second channel and watching the crew cab project unfold. I'm not gonna ask you to subscribe to the channel, but if you would hit that like button down at the bottom, I'd really appreciate that. Because today we are going to fire up this crew cab and we're gonna drive it out of the shop for the first time under its own power in many, many years. Thing's been off the road, last registered in 2005, so this is exciting to see the old girl live again. Enjoy the video. You guys were wondering, yes, there are dents on this. And how did I have this routed? Just purely everything on the planet is in the way. What are you hung up on? Just let me do what I'm here to do. See, I don't need much right there. It goes down into the wiring harness. There we go. A lot of work to have this little guy fit in there, but she's in there. And then this guy goes over here, plugs into some stuff. It might I'm thinking end up going underneath that junk. And then this guy has to go back in the cab because that is windshield wiper. If you didn't know, 66 and 97 both had the same exact windshield wiper motor, except for had a different plug-in. So I just swapped them out, we're good to go. He'd have my ground hooked up here. That'll come later on because we can run our power here, but then the ground for this whole box goes through a grid heater. And I honestly wouldn't mind not having that issue. But that's not cheap. Let's put it all in there. Mount for it out here. I think I still will. On it like right there. Could even use that guy, utilize that thing. Keeps it out of the way. And then right here is gonna have to be cut and modified anyway, so. Oh, back spasm. Oh, what the hell? Oh man. Ah, what the hell? I feel like a back cramp. Yeah, this guy right here. There's our cruise control. So that thing's perfectly length. And the module, I got a couple bolts welded on for studs right there. Sick. Looks like it's gonna work. How a build like this goes. Try it, see if it works. If it does, cool. Or even if it still is fine, there could be another option, such as putting this clamp right here, deleting on that washer, and utilizing the same hole. Perverts. Might have to go with a smaller clamp. Nope, that should be perfect. Then a battery should have plenty of room right there to fit in. Here's what I got to work with now. This is the final leg of the wiring harness that goes in. This is quite a bit, honestly. There's a lot going on here. Air conditioner, all your sensors for your engine, shut off solenoid, and then I got to figure out when I hook into the box up there how the ground works. I mean, alternator, grid heat, you name it. Everything is in this wiring harness right here. I'm gonna go ahead and snip off some of these factory firewall mounts. Why is there a bunch of, I don't know if this is factory tape or what, but it's been exposed to some oil. So it might end up just putting some new lume on a lot of this, clean it up. But as far as I know, the only issue wires that were on this harness was the air condition. They ran a jumper for that, and then I saw one right here. This thing had been chewed on by some mice. Well, mother. So I got two shop lions now, mountain killers. I call them Mouse, you are what you eat, and the other one's Snickers. I guess I want to eat Snickers. But we'll get this cleaned up. And this guy right here, what's this one go to? This is your temperature gauge right there. That one normally gets ripped off because it's somewhere you can't see it. But I'm gonna have to go out there and visit another truck. Oh wait, what's this right here? Wonder if that's the ground. Oh, there's another thing. Got a zip tie off right there. Good. Delete. Had an engine fire, turbo boot or something failed, and it caught this on fire a little bit. So, as far as I know, all that worked. Alright, you got the wiring harness cleaned up pretty good. Yep, hit her with some pressure cleaner here. Now I ran quite a bit of new wire loom all over it. A couple spots desperately needed it. And just try to make it look a little bit nicer. It's all hopefully going to be relatively covered up underneath the hood here. We just got to get her installed. I've already done all of the prepping and stuff on the firewall and painted that before I put the cab down. Simple stuff that you should do. So I don't need to come back and paint this. As far as what this truck aiming for, it's a rough draft and it's honestly going very well right now. I think I'm gonna, oh man. I think this needs to slide underneath. Yep. Alright. This is gonna be a trial and error, so time lapse. Alright, this is kind of an afterthought. This is for your heater grid right here. It's normally bolted down here on the second gens, but there's enough slack. I think we're going to be able to reroute it to over here. I left this open with the idea of possibly putting it right here, but I kind of wish I would have left a little bit extra on this. We could have made something happen. Maybe set it on the top, but then I thought, why don't we drop this down? So I put this in, made this quick in a break. So we're going to put it, what's going on with this wire? Some of these will just have to be shifted, not a big deal. So we'll put this right here. Boom, boom. I gotta work out slick. And then this spot right here, if it'll allow it, will act as my body ground. Yeah, that should work out good. Just gotta get some self-tappers involved there. Of course, I'm gonna take this back out of here so I can paint it, but get my holes marked, and then I'll have to clean up the surface underneath this other one. Goes my square. What was that? Something broke? Yeah. Running through the paint booth quick. Got lucky. They weren't too booked up. We were able to squeeze it in. Ran a piece of masking tape on the bottom because we're going to need metal to metal contact, because that's going to be a grounding surface for a lot of different spots on the rig. Alright. Got off the phone with the people at the paint booth. Says it's drying. So in the meantime, there's a committed screw right there. Let's take this thing apart so we can start prepping this. Need to clean it up, but first I got to build brackets for the radiator. And boys, I'll tell you what, it's gonna be tight. Actually, I need to order a new rad. Maybe I'll just JB weld the one I got together. Here's the last screw. Take out the hardest one last. That's usually the best bet. Fresh out of the paint shop into the truck. Need to get one of these extra long Phillips tips. Can't fit into a lot of spots with this custom. Now I'm going to put these little star guys on the ground side, but I got to get everything kind of lined out first. Up into here. What's holding that one back? This thing needs to go to the battery. Went up and looked at another truck. Actually, that one's already got the star bit thing on it, so stuff like that. I thought there was a whole mess of these wires There's another one way over here, but that'll find a different home. Ain't quite long enough. Have to step her up a half inch. Everything's too short today. Crisis averted. I thought I was gonna have to go. How do I get to that now? Well, crisis averted. I thought I was gonna have to go to town at some point just to get these screws. Alright. Do a quick inventory on where our wires go. Traced out the ground for the main wiring harness, hooked that up, it goes to the box, power supply straight from the battery, and then for your grid heater, these ones are your power supply. Honestly, why is that loose? Anyway, I'm not worried about hooking those things up right now. I need to put a new end on here to connect to the battery and possibly shorten this thing up about a mile, but I don't really like shortening on a wire unless really necessary, because what if you need more later and you done cut it all off? But thinking we got a lot of our stuffs all good in here. This looks actually pretty slick. Very happy I bought that brake because I use it for everything. Man, she's coming together. Ooh. Alright, so now we just got to run some stuff inside the cab. All this is hooked up to the cab. Got, I mean, a couple to the engine. All it really needs is just the shutoff solenoid hooked up, and it is. What else could we possibly have to do over here before I throw a key at it? These are to the battery. Forget where'd those come from? Ah. I don't know. Some factory crap. That's definitely to the battery, but it's red. So is this. Ooh, that one will have to be extended if we're going to use that. It's you look at stuff like this and you think, oh, you just plug and play, and really that's what it is. But from start to finish, it is just trial and error on routing, everything. Ground's still hooked up. This goes down to the chassis right there onto that bracket. This one goes to body ground. Man, that one needs to be, we're going to need a full set. I like what we're seeing though, folks. I like it. Oh, we got to hook up the ground up here. That's a 5/8. So I need to prep the fenders and that core support so I can put that in there. So now we're going to change gears from working on wiring. Now that just turned out slick. We're going to go from wiring to bodywork now. Probably could run the clutch up to the master now, because I don't think anything else needs to move around. Man, I'm proud of this. Well, got me another little bracket. Hindsight, I could have left a little bit hanging there and bent it down, but I had no idea. So the next time I do one of these Sweptlines, Cummins swaps, yep, wire and harness. Well, that is if I do a whole second chin. Now we got the whole wiring harness tucked in right there. Turns out that's not a latch or nothing right there. That's just an alignment. Big hood. Needs a runway. It needs somewhere to park. Anchor it down. Running low on the rust converting acid stuff, but dollar store, they shrunk the cans. I would rather have paid more for a full-size can so I don't have to use so many of these. But oven cleaner, probably should get downwind. Wait, no, we want to get upwind. We don't want to breathe this. Hit it with this, breaks down that bigger material if any, tears apart the rust a little bit. Then hit it with the oscillating tip pressure washer. Damn. Well, now that I let that bake out in the sun, get all nice and dry, it did an absolutely awesome job removing all that surface rust. Again, I'm going to hit this all before I give it the real paint with this acid bath stuff. Looks like I got about, I don't know, 30% of quart left, so I got a reserve on it until maybe if Amazon comes through, they'll actually deliver it this time. I don't know what happened. But I'm going to spend the next good bit grind down the high spots. Already notched it for the radiator, and then I'm gonna go back over it with the flappy paddle, make it nice and smooth. I gotta put a couple braces here and there, but for the most part, I think this is kind of where I want it, and I just need to grind it down and reinforce. Anybody questioning my sanity for working out here in the sun? A hurricane pushing at you. I don't think this thing's structural integrity needed to be as thick as it was. Pretty dang overkill. But I'm gonna go ahead and put another piece across here because the last somebody sliced it right there, sliced it twice over here. I have no idea why. But I had to cut this thing back probably, I don't know, more than an inch, I guess. So I need a little extra structure right there, put a little sliver there, not a big deal. And then we'll put the radiator in here. Everything's looking good. I believe these are the front clip mount bolts, nuts right there. I'm gonna have to trim those things down. I think I'll still be able to run through that. I wonder, are those welded or are they just rusted on there? Tap them with a hammer and see if they pop off of there. But get those out of the way. This is the factory bracket. goes like this. Might be able to use, I kind of like having that, but let's see if we can pop those off there. Learned a while back it's just easier to have grinder with the grinding stone, flap paddle, and cutoff wheel on it. This is my oldest one of these $15 Harbor Freight units, and it I mean, I think takes some abuse, so hopefully they keep going. Put them on the wall. I got them, I guess the new one's not marked, but grinding wheel, cutoff wheel. 3 lined up saves a bunch of time and hassle trying to swap them back and forth from what you need. I don't do that no more. Well, next day. Hat is already off. Spilled my hot drink all over myself. But finished off the welds on the rocker right here. Just had to do this little bead right here. If you guys haven't gotten one of these, this is arguably my favorite little tool. Little angle grinder. 90. This thing is just slick. Came back in here, ran about another 60 welds on this guy. I think I'm gonna do a couple more and call it good. Because, I mean, it's not going anywhere. It's got about 1,000 welds on it. Had to fix one little hole right here and one pinhole there, so I'm going to grind those out quick. And the game plan before I head to the gas station to give me wings kind of a kick. Here's how we're sitting pretty up under the front. After everything was said and done and putting that box in there, I think the front actually dropped down a little bit, and obviously how you judge that is not by leveling or nothing, but it's your body seam. Right there, the gap. So we are getting pretty close to throwing this other fender on here. Spent about an hour this morning, hammer dolly action. Had a really nasty dent right here. Probably hit the neighbor's mailbox or something, caved her in. So I had to cut a relief, drill a hole right there so I could pound it down in right there. Welded this right here. I'll show you this little guy in action. And that's with a pretty worn out sandy paddle. What else I got going on with this thing this morning? This was all extremely mangled up down here. Straighten that out. It looks, I got a piece right there I need to hit, but I can get to that when it's on the truck, I'm pretty sure. So that fender is about ready to go on. It wasn't in as good a shape as the one I cut on. We're about ready to throw it up on there once I get done with this. Probably have to hit that with a bigger grinder. That one's just slightly out of its league. Can we get to it? Oh, we can. Not very well. Oh, my back's still hurting yesterday. Is that a crack? Shit. Same one that cracked on the other side, cracked on this one. Got to weld it. Got a welder right there, so let's just do that. She might be small, but she's great for these quick jobs. How far inward is that? Quite a bit. Fresh weld's holding good. Now, got a sweet talk it. Damn. Good sweet talking today. I think I busted out all of those. Yeah. Part of the game, customizing. We gotta do some fitment. Is that? Oh, there we go. Oh, I actually did a pretty good job of getting that. Looked like somebody already tried to touch it up with some Bondo before. That was a dent. I need to do a better job at filming the hammer dolly action. This one over here, was a whole side swipe. I remember. That was a big old dent. I tried to heat it from the backside to suck that in because the hammer dolly got aggressive on it. Right here, same thing. That dent, it was just so manangled right there. Trial and error kind of got it to a spot where I'm okay with. Probably grind that down just a little bit just so it matches better. There's so much material to work with on this olden steel. The age factor isn't the thing. It's back then they made some stuff thick. So carriage bolt spot actually still has some. Look at how perfect that freaking gap is. It's better than the other side. Let's put some more bolts in it. Needle grip. Scanning the fitment here. Where is this gonna go? Man, I really don't want to chop top this side. Can, but that's a lot of work. Anyway, the radiator fits, so that's our main concern. I'm gonna leave these clamps on it and pull the front core support off and build my brackets down there on the bottom. I think that should work out pretty good. Got bolts hole? Yeah, we got one right there. Oh, it's even going through the factory nut thing. This side got close because I added that shelf and I didn't count for that coming out ½ inch. I don't know why, but this side over here we got tons of room. Rad hose comes right down here. This actually can come out a little bit. Double check stuff, put that all the way out where it should be, and see how that fits. So, came up with a simple idea for doing this. These are the factory cab mounts with a washer popped off on each side. And so I think those are just, I'll weld that plate right there. The other side will be easy, I can run a bolt through it. And a nut. This side's going to be difficult because it goes through the frame, but I think we should be able to figure something out. Alright, I need to make a piece that goes out, down, out again. And then out here, let's go ahead and show you. So here will be line 1. We'll put that in the brake and break both pieces at once. Just need a slight drop, doesn't have to be much. 3/8 ballpark. And then this is going to be our platform right here. So I'm going to do, those are the two pieces. This one here, we'll take off, let's say right here, and we'll bend it up onto that so it gives it our strength. That's the plan anyway. Something like that. Then we got to measure that guy. Oh man, I'm good. 3 3¼ whatever that means. I thought it was 3. Since I cut this main support out so I could fit the radiator in there, this thing is, it's so thick, it's actually pretty tough still. But this is one of the ribs from the steps that I didn't use. So just by putting this in there, I mean, I think it'd be fine without it, but I'm sure that's going to help it out a lot because it's, you know, basically half a pipe right there. A little bit helps, a little bit. I might even put another one, we'll see. Man, surprising enough, that piece right there strengthened this a lot. I mean, she's still got room to grow, but she's pretty damn stout for what she is. So everything gets tied into here. See if the radiator fits, and this thing's got to come right back out so I can clean it up, paint it. I put that weld on it. It sauced them up just a little bit, but we can flex that back down. Or just carve that out right there. That's, I mean, it's only spot. Just take another little hog right there. Then we don't have to worry about nothing. I think I'm gonna put some rib nuts right here, hold this thing on. But other than that, boys, we are good. Let's check the big fan, see if it fits in there. Probably end up putting it down right about there. That way it's got maximum suction through right there. I doubt that will be able to. Yeah, you have to take the fan off to get it out, get the rad out. Pull these little nutserts are the best. Nah, they're actually pretty nice. Make life super, super easy. So then you don't have to weld the nut right there. It just crimps it on. Boom, slid right up. Do the same thing on the other side. Look at that. Hey, freaking perfect. We'll just nip that off just a little bit. We're good to go. Damn, those things are slick. Definitely, if I do another project like this, I will be trimming and putting a tunnel in the firewall. but for what this truck's got going on, she was already hacked up. And I just kind of followed suit in the same manner. And I don't honestly think that we lost much room by moving the cab back the way it was. There wasn't much here to start off with. So just need to nip those off, and then I can pull this core support out, and we're gonna go get this thing cleaned up and paint it. But those things worked out perfect right there. I'll tell you what. Go in your home, boy. Oh no, there you go. Same thing for you, screw. Go in your home. That little thing in the center, I believe, is supposed to be anti-theft kind of a screw, because literally, if you got one of these, you can steal one of these trucks real quick, unless you put a secret switch somewhere that doesn't allow the starter to work, and then you got to find that. Which, well, it's a stick shift truck, so that's pretty much anti-theft to the max. Modern day standards, because everybody's a dummy. So these are cab mounts I was telling you about. Welded one on each side, and I welded a nut on the inside of it. So core support, this is what's going to ride on right here. If you don't think those are strong enough, the core support is about half as thick as that, if it's lucky. So those should work out good. Where's my bolt? Boom, boom, little fella. Hopefully that angle works, because that's kind of sharp, but I don't know. It's difficult. It's difficult. How's this one do over here? Oh. Bent the opposite way. That'll work. We got wiggle room. She'll play ball. Hit these with some paint. Throw the core support on there. We'll be in business. Yep. Just grab the radiator hose, and it's going to have to be cut down probably 4 inches, because that's about what the bottom one looks like it's requiring. Shoot. There's no plug down there in the drain, so this thing will just start gushing. What we're sitting pretty with right now is all the wiring's pretty much done. Thinking I'm gonna go back through and obviously chase around. My uncle's gonna make a thing, because this one's got a angle for the gauges. It needs to be flat, obviously, to fit that panel. So he's constructing something for me. New piece of plexi, cut it out on a laser, make it fancy. But I could just put the gauges up there in the meantime, just plug them in. And I need to go under here. This is for parking brake, but stuff like this need to hook up grounds, and that's going to be the culprit on a lot of just trial, and we got to go over everything, because I ain't going to be, all fired up and then can't find the grounds because we're missing something. Got the brake in. I need to order some clips for that. We got a couple of these loose end wires like this. There's another ground. Found another ground for that guy. Installed it there. So, whoo, buddy. A couple sensors need to be hooked up. Maybe I'll pull this out when we fire on it. But that's going to be the challenging thing when everything said and done, is to put the intercooler. It might. There's no real good spot for it. Flat out, there's no good spot. Alright, this segment is not really related to getting it up and running moving, but just to complete the project, I need to get some transmission fluid before I really tempt myself to fire it up and try to move it, because even idling, the transmission will be spinning, even if it's in neutral. Stuff's still moving. So, I don't want to really get close tonight and not have the fluid, so we're going to work on those old style hooks. Just put them there. That's not good. So I got to fill those holes in. Fill those. There's 4 hooks, 2 down there, option. So we got ourselves 10 holes cutting those 2 down there. Oh, 11. Got 1 around there and 1 big guy right here. So hole saw that thing out, and then we got to finish grinding on this. Got some must-have items from town so we can move this rig. Finally picked up the transmission fluid, a couple of new cans, spray paint, got the white option, black option, and undercoat, because this truck's going to need a little bit of that. Then new terminal ends, and I got the ones with the solder pellets. Oh yeah, and hose clamps. And then stick around for a little while, I'll show you what the football's for. I was running out, completely out of the 1-inch shelf tappers. I was only having 3/4 options, so I need to open up my little drawer right here. Fill her up. First things first, let's go ahead and put new terminal ends on this truck. I don't know if it'll work. Okay, well that cut it in half. That was different. Man, holy jeez. This one I might end up making a longer one, but the other one, this one is plenty long. So we got to put, should I drop that? There it is. Get this little pellet, heat it up, and dunk this sucker in there. It's going to be difficult on the truck though. Okay. Little corrosion starting in there. Colby. Overshot. This is double lock, big dogger size, and I thought that's what this thing was, but 1/0 fit in there. So I'm gonna heat up my tablet quick, and I'd rather do this in a vise, but I need to get my angle correct. So I got my welding gloves on. Let's see how we do. You know, safety sixth. Wait, safety first. That's right. Turn into a molten pool in there. Got a little aggressive with her. Kind of splurged out. I do have my crimper that I might throw a wave at it. Yeah, that's a lot smaller of a terminal, bulk-wise, and it'll look a lot tidier than this big unit. That is on there good. Heat shrink is too small to fit over the where's my other box? You know, make one part of the truck really fancy. Keep it even. Be that guy. Yeah. Satisfying. Well, I thought I had the little guys for that. A little cheapies for that guy there. Can't find them. So we're gonna have to come back to that later, but let's just keep moving forward with some stuff that needs to be done. Where should we put this? Hide it down there? Yeah, let's hide it down there. Yep. Not gonna worry about putting the fans and such on here right now because this rad's got a leak on it. It's just it's a dummy rad that we can use for this project to get rolling, and then we'll open up the wallet and actually order some stuff when we really do need it. But until then, we also got to loop the heater core hose around. Pretty sure that and it is not in that great a shape either. Hey! The hell was that? Sounded like somebody threw something in the building. I ought to just delete on that. I got the thing right here. It could go. Alright, let's do it. Technique was a little bit better that time. Didn't spill a bunch. The paint will thank me. And I didn't get burned either time. That one looked like there was still an iceberg of solder sitting around in there, but you know, I didn't want the flux to evaporate and leave the scene. It looked like that's what I was trying to do. Oh, you son of a man. See what I mean? Now we have to go get out the little and really give it the beans. Dang it. Knew that wasn't working. I just had a feeling. Just had a feeling. Alright, you guys probably can't tell how nasty of a dent this back door has. Cows, you know, just scratching. So what we're gonna do here, this is where that football comes into play. Gotta tear this thing down so I can get the football down on the bottom, air it up, push that out. Just one little step at a time. So we'll get the first thing off the bat. Yep. Power windows still work. Wilson. Pee-wee size aerodynamic design. Look at him. Oh no, the football! Watch this, dude. This thing's gonna fix the truck. What you thinking? We gotta stick the ball in the door. Oh, they do not leave a lot of room. We can make that work though. Now we gotta get the air hose. You gonna get the air hose, boy? Come on, let's go get the air hose. This is brutal, to be honest with you. Alcohol? Maybe. If I wiggle my arm back in there one more time, give her some air. Just trying. There's some serious pressure in that ball. Hey, dang suction. Well, there's a big percentage of the dent came out. That helped a lot. Having that ball back there, definitely doing something. Now we just gotta work that chunk out. I was hoping I could get a hammer back in there, but whew. You're just crushing that loom up, aren't you, boy?
Pull! 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 Oh, cheater.
I don't know. You tell it right there in the black? That's where the ball's sitting. Man, you can't tell. Camera. Oh, there you go. You can kind of tell. That's where it's pushing right there. I'm going to try and get the hammer down in there and work that a little bit. Unfortunately, it was a pretty nasty dent, as in it creased it down there on the seam. It came out quite a bit, though. Crimp terminals, it's actually pretty stout. Grab the back here on the insulation and up in there, and I soldered them, so you know, should be good. Then we'll hit them with this, really going above and beyond, making it nice. Nah, seriously, I don't like playing with electrical stuff more than once. Make it count. All right, we are in the final stages. Needed to reroute my grounds. Turns out the ground for, I guess, ABS, something under drugger right there, grounds up to there. Got one back here. Normally these all be right here on the fender, but I was still missing one, and I just now found it. I had to go back up to the parts trucks and look 9 times. So gotta have this big bulk one, a double, and then you gotta have one that's red or orange and black. Look, he's right there. Look at that. Got the battery terminal ends put on there. And a 97 and a 98 have a different wiring harness, different tip them and everything. So those two doggers actually need to be hooked up to the battery full time. The grid heat stuff, I'm not going to worry about that right now. So I just taped up those ends. Those are 2 power anyway. They're not a ground, so those aren't live, but just so I don't mess with those anymore. But now that we have all of our grounds, gosh, man, they got some thick material for those bad boys. Whew, there it is right there. Get this bad boy all situated, and I think we are dangerously close to hooking up a battery to this thing and seeing if we did it right. Sweet, that tidied up those wires. This one could probably honestly go underneath there for its routing, but it needs to be extended on no matter what because it is out of range. Come on now, talk to me. There we go. Almost go right there to that. I don't see what the difference really is. Nah, we don't want to rob from harness power. We'll just have to put an extendo on that. Got the starter one hooked up. Got a new mini for that down there, which is kind of short, so that sucks. But alright, I'll go through my checklist, a couple more things, and then I think we're about ready to crank on it. I got to hook the ECM back up. She's close. Oh, I got to hook chassis ground. You know, I don't want to skip any of these steps. There's a lot of grounds, and one ground can make or break the whole system if you're unlucky that way. Oh, look at that, just wanting to get on there. Need to figure out where I'm putting the ground. Apparently it wants to go in there. Wow. I just don't even... Okay. There, chassis ground, engine ground, body ground, all tied together right there. Slightly nervous. The key is off, so this thing needs to just get out of the way for now. Go handle, delete. It's not sparking. That's good. If you're hooking up a rig for the first time, you start getting sparks. That's because it's drawn from somewhere, or you got your battery terminal posts installing them backwards. Okay. I don't know, I feel like I should put my hat on for this. It's been a while since this truck cranked. I need to suck that up. As far as turnkey ignition, we'll see if she does something for us. Gauges hooked up. Got the gauges hooked up. Nothing. What are we missing? Oh, it actually, we ain't getting gauges. What one is missing for the gauges? Those should fire in. Let's see if, oh no, it does. It has. They just don't have the lights hooked up. Got low fuel. Neutral. Dead key. Oh, I have the ECM hooked up. Damn. What did I do with that thing? Can't do much without this little kid. Well, after checking everything 60 times, replacing a couple fuses, thought I was onto something. Turned out it was a bulkhead. She was a little loose right there. So now, dude, that is cool. Now let's see if our shutoff solenoid is camming over. Oh, she's up. She should fire quick. Almost. Building oil pressure. We got a slow fuel loop somewhere. Rick did this before. All right, start, baby. I don't have the turbo hooked up, so it'll backfire. Why do we? Oh, because there's no EGT thing in there. I was like, why are we getting smoke over here? All right, cool. I don't know if this was needed. I was trying everything I could think of. Just happened to be something just a little bit loose. Can you believe it? Woo! I gotta open the door, we're getting smoked out. I got a hunch that our issue with it losing pressure is the return check ball. So before I go diving into what's that? Something making noise. That the return check ball has been bleeding off pressure as the truck sits. So it just so happened to have a brand new one sit on the shelf. Swap this out. I don't think we should have an issue anymore. At least I'll rule that out. It just needs something to sit on. We might put 3rd gen seats in this thing. I'm honestly... These are 2nd gens, obvious, but man, if I just put better seats in it, I don't have to worry about nothing. I don't have to reupholster stuff. I already have the seats. My buddy Justin said he would donate the back one. I think. Talk to him first. Here's the check ball pressure regulator. I can blow through it, so that is not sealing at all. I ain't putting much pressure either. So, scientifically proven, that one's bad. Ah, almost made it.
What you doing, boy? What you doing? What? Pretty cool, huh, buddy? I'll take those away from you because you'll be driving off, I guarantee it.
I don't know if you guys remember, but when I pulled the cab off of this chassis, did all the work to the engine, resealing it and timing and all that, the harmonic balancer was shot and it was just eating a belt up. I don't know if I just missed a rib down there, but we're gonna find out quick because it was walking off of the AC compressor. So let's see what it does. All right, watch right there. I think, yeah, it's got to be our tensioner. Need to put a new tensioner. Man, I cannot wait to take this old rig out on the highway, but this is one step closer. Big smile moment because I've always wanted one of these older crew cabs that's been 12-valve swapped. And I'll tell you what, straight honest truth, by just doing a donor chassis, running gear, everything, I mean, pretty much took a whole second-gen truck and put it inside this old crew cab. That saves so much time and headache and just trial and error and trying to figure stuff out because it's all there. Running hoses, wires. I got everything on the dashwork and tachometer right off the bat. Voltage, oil pressure, fuel gauge works, and obviously the speedometer should work because everything's plug and play just like it was. I mean, it's almost like that second gen was a complete kit to put into this truck. A lot of the stuff just fell right into place. There is some issues here and there, but I mean, coil front suspension, this thing's going to ride way nicer than if you were to take, let's say, a D200, what this was, two-wheel drive, and chassis, you know, modify it so you can have four-wheel, or if you got a W200, already a factory four-wheel drive truck, you wouldn't have the suspension up front that this one does. And not saying this is the greatest in the world, but it's a major improvement over something that was 30 years older than the running gear that's under this truck. But I am very, very stoked to finally have one of these. I'd like to build a crew cab dent side next, but this is just checking all the boxes right now. So right off the kick, a couple things. Once you fire it up, you realize some of the issues that you're gonna have to address. First, I need some boost. It's gonna have to go in the bumper. It's unfortunate, but one right now is we don't have our belt staying on very well, so I think that's gonna be our tensioner. I'm gonna swap that with the other block. I got a couple of those spared out. And the clutch, I don't know what happened to the slave system on this thing, but check out what happened to the clutch here, boys. I don't even know what to say. I had to shut the rig off and then put it in gear to back it out of here, but we got like a dead pedal. I don't know what the heck just happened there. It was fine. I drove this truck not a ton. I mean, I probably put 5 miles on it and drove it around the property half a dozen times. And when it was a second gen, shoot, I mean, everything coming back to putting that little patch in there, just making, you know, it makes it look a lot more symmetrical to start off with. But then you also, man, if I were to lengthen the frame and stuff like that, after all said and done, making the truck better and putting the toolbox in, I'll probably have another 5 hours, so 15-ish hours into that extension. That's not really that bad. Probably stretching the frame, plus being money out of pocket to go get a new drive shaft made. You know, just the stuff would just keep chewing on you. So right now, it's a one-of-a-kind truck as far as the length and bed and all that goes. It's looking good. It's looking good. Man, in a shadow, that's the first time I've seen it out in the normal light. It almost looked like it cracked right there, but just shadow. So anyway, comment below what you guys thinking. I am very stoked. This is a big item off the checklist. Actually, be able to pull it out of the shop under its own power. So, a lot more body work, and I'm pretty confident going to 3rd gen seats on this. So, start fabricating some of that. I'll see you guys in the next one. Really appreciate it if you like this video, share it. See you guys in the next one. Later.